Hello everyone and welcome once again to the Sulky Show, and we've got an all-star cast. We're closer to home this week. Last week we went transatlantic with Roger Houston. This week we are joined by Rhun Wilson. They're from South Wales. How are you, Rhun?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, nice.
Rhun's in York and Amman Valley this weekend. And look at this, it's Mr. and Mrs. tonight. The Cairns family, Mr. and Mrs. Cairns. Andrew and Joanne, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Good, thank you.
Perhaps we should do that, you know, like a harness racing Mr. and Mrs. What do you think?
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Worth a try.
Do you know a fair bit about each other?
I think so by now, yeah.
Would you be confident of winning?
We'd have a good chance, wouldn't we?
I know all of the bad habits anyway, all the faults and the snoring and stuff like that. So.
All right, okay. You've got no bad habits then, Andrew, no?
No. Only smoking, and I packed that up, so that's me clean. I'm okay.
All right. Oh. And talking about clean living, is it water or is it gin? It's the one and only Sarah Thomas. How are you, Sarah?
I'm good, thank you, Darren. I'm not going to tell any lies. It is gin.
Right.
And I got a lot of stick of people last weekend who'd watched the Sulky show because I was drinking gin, and they thought perhaps I was getting a little relaxed and enjoying myself too much doing this. But it's probably the Chico and Sarah show rubbing off on me. All levels of professionalism have gone out the window with me. So I apologise, but I am drinking gin tonight again.
Right. So we've got the same glass, the same drink, but we've got a different T-shirt. It's the Red Mile. You are a show-off. Last week you had the Stars and Stripes because Roger Houston was on. This week you're still going transatlantic. We're talking the Red Mile.
It's a nod to the red 3 furlongs. 3 furlongs at Corbiewood. Yeah, that's what I call Corbiewood the Red Mile. It's not really a mile, but we race over a mile. So it's, the Red Mile is Corbiewood. Because we've got Corbiewood and Sunday.
Oh, we'll live with that. Did you watch the Little Brown Jug and Jugette, guys?
Yeah,
watch them.
Both very good.
Yeah, great result for Tom Hill for the second time in the Jugette.
Yeah, bit special that one as well, isn't she? She's unbelievable filly.
Well, they were talking about running in the jug, weren't they?
Yeah, I think she'd have stood her ground as well if she'd been there. She would have took some stopping. I think she came a 50, just over 53 back half, in a 26 and 3 last quarter. I think unbelievable.
Have you been there, Andrew?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
It's on the bucket list. I'd love to go.
I fancy a spin round there. What about you, Rhun?
Yeah, I'm the same. I'd like to go out there. I need to go out.
Now, one or two of our guys have driven there. I know Gary Wakefield drove there, didn't he?
Did he? Right, I didn't know about that one. Good.
Yeah, Gary drove there when I was there a few years ago. Yeah.
Right.
He didn't drive in the jug, but he did drive there. Yeah.
It was good enough for him driving around there. That was like a jump.
Well, there you go.
Great experience, I can imagine.
He thought he was driving around Leominster.
Yeah.
Right. Down to business. We've got some great racing again the weekend. It's Sire Stakes there at York on Saturday morning / afternoon, and probably going to finish in the evening. It's 16 races there with the Sire Stakes. And on Sunday, we've got a good quality card at Corbiewood and Amman Valley. Amman Valley's last meeting of the season. And good news as well, I had a phone call this morning to state that 7 bookmaker clients from Australia are taking York tomorrow. So that's a bit of a goal.
Yeah, brilliant.
Including Ladbrokes Australia. That's what we're told anyway. Taking picture data. So that is a so I don't expect you to polish your shoes tomorrow, guys, but change your underwear anyway, or whatever. I can't believe I've just said that, but anyway.
Hang on a second. Wait, are you expecting people to take their trousers down before the images that are being streamed to Australia?
I'm just looking at those bananas.
I think you've been bananas with some of your comments.
I've got to say a big thank you as well to your better half, Sarah, for the excellent work he's done this week. He has helped myself and Hailwen enormously trying to get the prize money right for the Sire Stakes. you'll look at the card. I'm not sure if the card's been updated. When I last looked, it hadn't been. The prize money is incorrect on the website for the Sire Stakes, but now we've got an updated version, courtesy of Mr. Smart. So,
so that's what he's been doing all week.
That's what he's been doing all week.
Updating that because
what are you showing off there, Andrew? You're just hiding your bananas.
I'm putting Salvador Bello in front of the bananas.
Where's your Mrs. Rhun? I thought your Mrs. was there in the wings.
She's gone to hide now.
Gone to hide. All right.
Yeah. She set me up and she's gone in the other room now.
Set you up. If she has set you up with us. Yeah. Right, guys. We've got the Sire Stakes meeting tomorrow at York. 16 races. Wonderful card. And you guys are in action. First of all, Rhun, you're making the marathon journey up for one drive.
I am indeed. I am. Yeah. I got Kieran Jack in 2-year-olds. So he's drawn one. And hopefully we'll get a position and see how we go.
So you've had all your instructions from Emma Langford.
I have indeed. And,
yeah.
I took him round in a workout last week, practice, and get a feel of him. So hopefully we go tidy.
Right, and the drive is what, 5 hours or so? Is it up to York?
Yeah, it'd be a good 5 hours. Yeah.
Right, so you're going to bed in a minute.
Yeah. In a minute.
Yeah.
And I'll be getting up in a minute.
Yeah. So you got Kieran Jack at York tomorrow. That's the one drive. What a professional! Man, you got all day to get there. You're not on till race 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get there for the first race, and I like to watch them all anyway.
Right. Okay. And Mr. and Mrs. Cairns, I might have missed a horse or two, but I've got 4 horses down here. And how many is it?
3 now. Frisco Jenna's a non-runner.
Oh, what's happened there?
Just she was out. We worked the Wednesday. She was fine. Jogged yesterday. She was good. Put her out in the paddock, and then this morning she was just a bit stiff on her offside knee. So we're just precautionary. Going to take her to the vets on Monday. Just get him to have a look at the knee, scan it, X-ray, whatever needs doing. It's probably nothing. She probably by tomorrow night, Sunday, should be good. But we don't want to risk it tomorrow anyway. So we're just going to give her the benefit. And it's a shame really, because she's going nice. But we will try and hopefully get it put right for next week for the final. Hopefully we get into the final with the second place, what we've got. But we don't want to risk her anyway. Just on we need to be sure.
Oh, that's a blow. She's sort of running into form, isn't she?
She always comes good at this time of year, that mare. The back end of the year, she's a mare that carries an unbelievable amount of condition. She's just, she's so hard to get weight off, and she needs 5 or 6 races, and then she kind of comes to herself. But hopefully, let's keep fingers crossed, and hopefully it's nothing. But as I say, we didn't want to take a chance on something. You don't know what's going on there, so you need to be sure before you go and put them in a race like that anyway.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. So that's 2 non-runners for that race. So Jen and Tea Time Preacher are out. But the rest of your team, what about Tara Wood-Will? I mean, tell us about the Tara Wood-Will story, guys, because I know you went to your first time out with high hopes and it didn't go according to plan.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about this one, John.
Oh, thanks. We did have high hopes. He'd been working fantastic. He'd been really hard work to get to that stage, and a bit quirky, but he'd been doing everything just right. We got there and everything went to pot a little bit. Came off, blew harder than he should have been, and discovered he had a wind problem. Got that sorted fairly quickly, and within no time at all, a couple of weeks, and he was back doing what he does and he enjoys doing, and he's just, touch wood, not looked back since. So fingers crossed all be okay for him.
And how would you describe him? Obviously the word exciting must enter calculations.
He's an absolute gem. He's lovely. He's so lovely to handle. He just goes to the races and he'll tie at the wagon. He won't port, he won't kick. He's an absolute dream. He's lovely. He really is.
I'm so pleased for Charlie as well.
Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah, he deserves it, doesn't he?
2 characters together, Tara Wood-Will and Charlie. He's actually named after he's named after one of his grandchildren, is Will. So it's nice that he's named him after one of the grandkids, and he does look a real nice horse in the making. He's kind of making the transition at the minute from a boy to a man, because he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's a slow learner. He does everything yesterday rather than today, does Will. And he's probably, in hindsight, that's a good thing for him, because he's slowly making the transition, and he's hopefully he's going to be a real nice horse of the future.
So you'll be wrapping him in cotton wool during the winter, looking forward to next year.
We'll leave that to Charlie. Charlie lives with him in the winter time with horses, so he's there 4 or 5 times a day down at his land where his horses are. So we'll leave that to Charlie.
How would you be thinking about just keeping him on the go for the next few weeks?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Experience more than anything. It's a series racing tomorrow. All being well, he comes out, he's race okay tomorrow. We're probably running next week. There's a low grade handicap. Give him another couple of weeks rest then, and hopefully run until the end of the season, all being well.
Yeah.
Gain experience for next year.
Definitely an exciting prospect. And moving on to the trotters, Universal Cat, going 1.25 miles tomorrow, and you're off 60 yards.
Yeah, a long way. We go more than 1.25 miles than him. But, no, he's a grand old horse. He's lovely. Not the easiest to pull up in a race. Drives perfect in the race. When you come to pull him up, he just wants to keep going. But he's an old battler. He tries, and he's won 3 races. You say he's quite been unlucky, really, not to go right through and won all 5. Ran a great race last week at Turpins. A mile probably isn't his perfect trip. The 2 horses what were in front ran a brilliant race. They just blazed away, and couldn't stay with him early on. But he was gained on at the finish. Tough race tomorrow. Stevie's horse is a good horse when he stays down. Diamond de Godrel, another one. I think it's Semino, one of Matty Quinn's, won last time out, so that's on the gate. So to give that one 60 yards is going to be a hard task, but yeah, he'll give it his best.
And then our old friend Harry's going tomorrow.
Harry,
yeah. Oh, come on! We want to see it. We want to see a win on the board before the season's out.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will get one before the season's out. He's had a mixed type of year. He started off good, and then he went off for a couple of races, and he couldn't understand why. And he developed an infection in his gum, and we took him in the vets, got him checked over, and they X-rayed him, and found out he had a fractured tooth. What had been there for they don't know how long, and it had just kind of got worse and worse. So he had a course of antibiotics, and he seems to be over that now. Hopefully it's going to be a tough race tomorrow, but he's got a good draw. I think he's drawn 2, so he'll give it his best. I'm sure his owner will be there screaming him on at the side of the fence.
Bless. Oh, I just love them. Oh, they're
lovely
great.
people. You couldn't get better than them. The absolute gems.
Yeah, and they'll be bringing the dog, no doubt.
Oh yes, yeah.
So they're the 3 now tomorrow, isn't it? Just the 3. And Green, we touched on your York drive. Then Amman Valley on Sunday. You got 2 of your own and a drive for Emma.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I got 3 drives on Sunday now. So
2 of those, though, you drove last week to success, Black Williams and Green Hill Gus. Tell us about Black Williams going in the Charlie Blissey.
Yeah, he ran well last week. He came back off a break. We thought it'd be a bit too soon for him really to get in the mix, but after the first turn, they sort of give us a chance there with all the horses galloping. So yeah, and he finished strong up the race. So hopefully he'll go 1.5 miles, and he'll be thereabouts.
Green Hill Gus, another winner last week.
Yeah, he ran really well. He's been knocking on the door. He's had a couple of seconds, just got beaten up the home straight at Amman Valley, and he managed to hold on to give a win for the owners.
And yeah, see you driving Chaos Theory off a 10-yard trail.
Yeah, he's in a different race this week now. Last week it was a 2, 3, 4. Like it was the highest grade race of the day. So today, Sunday, he's in a 1 and a 2 off the trail. So hopefully he'll finish strong and we'll be thereabouts.
But tell me, I was reading in the news today that parts of South Wales, Swansea, Llanelli, they're under lockdown. Is Ammanford away from that at the moment? Are you away from all that?
I'm away from it at the minute, down in Pembrokeshire. We're out the way. I'm not 100% sure on Ammanford, to be honest. It's changing daily. It's kind of hard to keep up with it, to be honest. As long as we can keep racing.
Well, that's it. Yeah, keep racing. Let's get our priorities right in life. Sarah, you're very quiet this evening.
I like to sit and listen. I'm a listener.
You absorbing it all the information.
I am taking all these tips, just stuff that I can throw out, in the review tomorrow after racing, and I'll be like, right, on the Sulky show when Andrew said, and on the Sulky show when Rhun said, I can just throw that back out in front of everybody, and it makes it look then like I was actually paying attention while everyone was talking. I'm not just here drinking. There's a lot going on in here.
Right, come on then. Share your thoughts. Horses to watch out for over the weekend.
Okay, horses to watch out for. Let's have a look. Right, I don't want to touch race 1 because that looks difficult. I'm waiting for Conor McGregor. Actually, race 1, I'm really waiting for Conor McGregor to get a decent draw. I share in Louise's frustration at some of the draws that her horses have had this year, 10s and 9s and 8s, and then you're thinking, please get a gate draw, and Conor McGregor draws 5. So I don't want to touch that race because I think it's wide open. Race 2, Andrew talked about Tarawood Will. I love Tarawood Will. I mean, I love Charlie and Noreen. I think that maybe is where part of it comes from. And then I also like horses that are a different colour, and the fact that he's roan kind of makes him stand out. But I just absolutely love the way that he races. And I just think he looks like there's more to come. I've said this before in the reviews. I just feel, and I look back to my photos, and I just think he's racing, and he's not the finished product right now. I think that's kind of, and he's got so much potential and so much ability now that I can't wait to see what he looks like next year as a 4-year-old. So I really, really like him in that race. I noticed Red Impulse has drawn 1 there, but I would stick with Tarawood Will. The trot's terrifying me at the moment because I'll tell you what, I talked about Esther de Fournay after her first start at York, talked about how impressed I was with her, and then she was disqualified at Amman Valley last week. So I don't want to jinx Esther de Fournay by kind of picking her again. There's a couple of horses in that race that have been racing really well recently, so I'm not going to touch that one. Race 4, I don't have a clue in race 4 either. I mean, the horse has got the decent draw, and probably the best form coming into the race would be Lions Maverick. Grant Cullen gets the drive down Lions Maverick. I think he's driving a couple of the TAF horses tomorrow. Keeping going through anything that jumps out at me. I want to talk about the Monty race, actually. I've got a sneaky here for N is the Man. I thought that horse went really well when it was beaten by...
Birdie Match, was it?
Birdie Match. Thank you, Rhun. I'm glad you pay more attention than I did. I knew who the jockey was. I just couldn't remember who the horse was. I'm thinking, no, she drove Banco Tedji in the Sulky race. But N as a Man, I was really impressed with. I know they've taken the horse to the beach for a workout during the week, and I would like to take a picture of Katie Parry. She'll text me when this goes out and say thanks for the name drop, Sarah, and this is all part of the agreement. I mention her, and then one day when I go to the Hungry Ram, they're going to give me a free dinner. It's an agreement that she hasn't yet signed up for, but now that I've committed it to video, she has to.
I'll give you a jockey change in that. Alexis Layler's riding American Love.
Okay. And I haven't seen American Love since a qualifier or a workout earlier in the season, so I don't know why Matty's had that horse under wraps for so long, but I suppose he's got 27 other trotters racing, so he's had to wait until he could find a spot to put American Love out in a race. But I know it's only a 4-horse race, but it's still, I really enjoy the trots. And Savannah Nicholson, she's on Blasson this time out, and I think this is the first time we've seen Blasson under saddle. So it's actually a very interesting race. Amadeo de Gelmo was a winner at Tier Prince last week as well. So even though it's only 4 runs, I think that could be an interesting one to watch. The next race after that, this trot is just full of absolute superstars. I'm just going to enjoy. I'm just going to enjoy that one. I don't want to jinx anybody, picking anybody.
There's a lot of sitting on the fence here.
I know. It's because I've had a really strong weekend last weekend with my selections, and I don't know if you saw the Chico and Sarah show, but there were only 5 races, and I had 4 winners and a second. So I feel like I need to bow out while I'm on top, because if I say too much here now, I'm going to ruin the illusion that I actually know what I'm talking about. Race 8 is a great race. I mean, they're really good races. I'm saying that much. They are really good races. Bobby Camden, I wasn't there the day that Bobby Camden won at York a couple of weeks ago, but that was the first time that he'd ever gone sub 2 minutes. And I just didn't think he was going to be a horse that could do that. I think he went 1:58 and 7. And I was so impressed with him, because it's just not his type of race at all. Not his type of track or anything like that. But you've got Frankie B in the race. Frankie B's in great form, and that form looks stronger for seeing Paparazzi win that free-for-all at Tier Prince last week, because Frankie B beat Paparazzi last time out at Tier Prince. And obviously you've got Harry drawn 2. I would expect, Andrew, I'm expecting you to lead out there, I'll be honest. But Harry's gate speed, I'm expecting you to be in front by the first bend.
There is something you have to drive now, Andrew.
These are instructions. These are go forwards and keep improving your position.
Talking of instructions, Joanne, do you give the instructions?
Definitely not, Darren. No, definitely not. No, they're all down to Andrew. We always discuss everything, but no, the driving always comes down to Andrew, and I leave it to his judgment, which usually isn't too far off.
Oh, yeah, that's so sweet.
And then I get a bollocking after.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
That's the way it should be done. I do need to mention the Stagby Mares race, just because obviously I'm a Stagby director, so this is our thing. We're a week away. Tomorrow we'll be a week away from the final at York. These are the last 2 legs now, tomorrow at York, and then there's a mares race at Corbiewood on Sunday. After that, then we'll know who the top 10 are that are going to get invited to the final. You've already mentioned, Darren, that Tea Time Preacher's a non-runner, and obviously Andrew's touched upon there, Frisco Jenner's a non-runner, so we go from 10 down to 8. Newtown Jody comes into the race off a big win at Tier Prince last week, but it's still a super competitive race. Air Empress has got the gate, although she's got the worst draw on the gate now as it looks. Reed's Nightlife and Reed's Passion, I thought both of them ran really well in that 1.5 mile free-for-all. Although they were only 4th and 5th, there were so many horses coming to the line together. I did notice that Reed's Passion really struggled for room. I thought if she'd been able to get out in that free-for-all with Rocky Mambo and Mountain moving up, she actually was probably in with a really big chance, because those two stayed off the pace early on when there was that kind of electric first half from Rocky Mambo and Mountain moving up. Just a really quality race. So many good mares in this country, and it's so nice to have them, racing together. And this series, and obviously the final next week, had the trophy engraved today with Olivia Camden's name. Obviously Olivia Camden is racing now, winning out in America. So Tea Time Preacher's already heading over, and there could be others in the race that maybe will make that journey stateside at some point. But it's a quality field of mares there. Of the remaining races, obviously the Sire Stakes. Actually, nice to see kind of reasonable sized fields for the 2-year-olds at this point of the season. Normally, when you get onto this point of the season, people are kind of dropped away because there's horses that have dominated earlier on, and people don't like to keep horses going. But actually, when you look at it, there's quite a few 2-year-olds still going, which maybe is a nod towards having it later on in the season, at the back end of September, which is personally for me, I always thought was a better thing to do for 2-year-olds. When it comes to actually picking horses that I think will go well, I think Oakwood Denver's going to go well on the 2-year-old colts. He was second behind Yerkes Hanover at Tier Prince last week. In the fillies, Oakwood Annabella has kind of become a bit of a standout, kind of a sensation. Although she didn't race in the earlier races, she's really stepped up, and she's an exciting prospect for obviously this race, but next year as well as a 3-year-old. Coming into the 3-year-old fillies, I think is quite wide open. I believe Indiana's Dream to be a non-runner, so that probably will become a 5-horse race. Going on then, we've got the Open Preferred 5 horses, well 4 horses now. Mikey Camden, another non-runner, because he heads to Canada as well with Tea Time Preachers. We've got a 4-horse high-grade preferred race. First time we get to see Reggie racing. This is Reggie getting partnered back up with Steve Senior as opposed to young Stephen. Good to see how Reggie goes. 4-year-olds, obviously there's only 2 horses in that race, and then another good trot at the end. It's a good card. I couldn't really commit to having a nap for the meeting. Well, I probably actually could. I thought Oakwood Annabella and the 2-year-old fillies and play it really safe. But it's a mammoth 16 race card, and I'm really looking forward to it.
That was wonderful. Guys, she didn't draw a breath. That's fantastic.
I know. I've been a long time practicing to do that, so, I'm kind of getting used to it now at this point in the season.
Plays very safe with the nap selections, didn't she?
I have to keep my good form going. I had a really bad week. That week that I went away, I've said this before, 1 winner on an 11 race card. It's absolutely appalling. So I'm doing quite well at the moment. I'm gonna play it safe. I didn't play it safe last weekend. I thought El Paparazzi, well, I did. I thought El Paparazzi was almost a certainty. He was my nap for Tier Prince, but the bookmakers thought otherwise.
Yeah.
So, and guys, I mean, you know, Rhun, do you follow the form of the other horses closely? I mean, are there any horses in particular that you're looking forward to seeing tomorrow?
I watch it all closely, to be honest, but like obviously I keep a close eye on the trots and that, because we've got a couple of trotters in amongst them, and anything that we tend to be racing against in the next couple of weeks, I sort of keep an eye on them. I like to watch it all, to be honest, and just keep an eye on everything, and just see what's what. Really, there's strong fields tomorrow, and they are strong fields. It's hard to pick one. It is hard to pick one.
And do you have a preference for the trotters over the pacers, or does it all just come alike to you?
No, it's all the same, really. It's all the same, as long as they're running well. It doesn't matter which cake.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and about your stable, and because you didn't start off with BHRC, is that right?
No, I was Wales and Borders for a few years. I got champion driver in, I think it was 2015 or 16. Just testing me now, I'm not sure. And then
you were still in school then, obviously.
And then we moved over then. Yeah, I've actually got a degree, but don't use that now.
Oh, wow. What's the degree in?
Yeah, sports science. It's just not very useful.
Right. So what can you do with sports science, the degree? Excuse my ignorance.
Like any sort of, you can do analysis work for, you know, anything, any sort of coaching jobs that's out there, really, and any analysis and stuff like that for, you know, any football, rugby, anything like that, really. You can, like, it's all like we did loads of nutrition and all the stuff like that, so you can translate it to horses as well, really.
Have you found you could do that? It gives you a better understanding? Yeah,
you can. Just bits and bobs, obviously. Like, obviously horses are totally different to us, but principles and stuff are all the same.
Right. So you got a degree and you're working in harness racing?
I am indeed. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And so you started at Wales and Borders, you were champion there on that circuit?
Yeah, and then basically we decided to move over and bring a few horses over, and we picked up a couple of horses that year. Yeah, we didn't look back, really. The following year then we won the £10,000 bronze race with the trotter, so the trotter came a bit of a bug then, and obviously Joby Randall's one of my main owners and he loves a trotter. Yeah,
he's a bit of a character, Joby, isn't he?
Yeah, he's really good. He loves it.
So you've still got a few horses on the go. Are you going to keep them on the go for the next few weeks?
Yeah, we've only got 5 in now. So we've got the 2 trotters, Black William and Border de Borg, and then we've got Greenland Gus and Ladyford Express. I got Express and Ring of Fire. Then Ring of Fire is also they're in for the Star Makers at Tier Prince, so we go there. We'll take the trotter there as well. So we'll keep them going for a few weeks. As long as they're fit and healthy and still running well, we'll keep them going.
And no regrets about switching over to BHRC?
No, none at all.
No.
It was the right decision. It was a good step forward for us, really. Yeah.
Remind us, where are you actually based?
In Narberth, Pembrokeshire. So couldn't get much further west, really.
Wow. So there's some travelling involved.
Yeah, that's the only downfall, really. We're just always on the road. It's always on the road, so it's a long way to everywhere. But there we are. When you get a couple of winners, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, absolutely. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Cairns, let's talk about you two and about your career in harness racing. How many years is it now? I mean, How many years have you been married? How many years have you been together?
Been together, about 27 years together, Darren.
And it was harness racing that brought you together?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It was. Yeah. Yeah, something, I mean, we've both been in it all our lives. Joanne's dad, obviously, was very successful. Joe, and my dad kind of trained a few of his own horses. You get the bug, don't you? That's it.
It's a labour of love, I think, Darren.
Yeah, sure. So it was never going to be anything else. It was harness racing, it was horses. And Joanne, I mean, in terms of driving, I mean, what sort of driving have you done over the years?
Very little, Darren. Probably had a handful of wins, Andrew. But to be honest, very, very little. An odd owner would put one in a ladies' race and asked if I would drive them. And I do work and jog them at home, but I just hand the reins on to Andrew on a race day, as he definitely would do a better job than me. And the horses, when you don't own them yourselves and you train for other people, obviously you want to give them the best chance possible. So he certainly takes the reins on the race day. She
did get a very important, I think it was probably your last drive you ever had. It was a winner as well. It was horse for Johnny Ball. Was it called Nemo GA? Nemo GA. And that, I think it was a C-class drivers race at York, possibly the last meeting of the year. And I needed that one for the Trainers' Championship.
So that was down to me, Darren.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. So, I mean, so you won, how many Trainers' Championships have you won, Andrew?
I think 2. I think 2, yeah. I think I tied one and won one. I think me and Mick Lord, I think it was, tied one year, and I won one. But as I say, that drive of Joanne's was...
that clinched it.
Bit of pressure, that one, wasn't it?
Wow, yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the actual horses you've got in training, I mean, how big a string would you take nowadays? Would you have nowadays?
Kind of round about 10, 12. That's kind of enough for us. We have a mix. We've started getting a mix now with a few trotters in as well, with the French trotters coming on the scene. So we kind of try and start off with not having a big, massive stable, a couple of 2-year-olds. We try and pick a colt and a filly out of the ones that we break in. Hopefully they're good enough to make it to the races and be competitive. And then a bit of a mixture then of your Tower Will type, never raced at 2, come through the ranks. Trotters, a few handicap horses. So just trying to have a mixture where you can go racing more or less every week.
And it's very much a family thing, isn't it? It's just like a lot of people in harness racing, the whole family get involved.
Very much so, yeah.
Absolutely. Our 2 eldest girls, Sally full-time, she's a full-time teacher, but on a weekend and after work, she's always there. And our second daughter, Abby, she does work as well, but she's with us as often as she can be. Really good kids. And my mum, can't forget my mum, she's there always in the background looking after the little ones when we're away racing, and she's always there to make tea for when we get back. And yeah, it's definitely a family affair, Darren.
And it's a tough old game, isn't it? You know, you're probably out all hours of the day. You're probably up first thing in the morning. All that travelling, all the time is spending on the road. I mean, you know, and Rhun, you'll be the same. Do you ever think, what the hell are we doing this for? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, often, Darren.
or 5 times a week, I think.
Yeah, them days are get them days.
Yeah.
You get your bad days, and you do. I mean, same as anybody in any job, I suppose. If you're a mechanic and you get bad days, whatever, and you think, do I need to change? But you're never going to do it. 10 minutes later, you're back up again, and yeah, I mean, I think we leave at 5 in the morning. We start, and you just think it's crazy, isn't it? But it's what you do. I hope them Australians appreciate it.
But then again, a Tara will come along every now and again and think, yeah, this is why we're doing it.
Yeah, of course, it's horses like that, and I mean all your horses. But when you get one more comes along, what you you get quite excited about. That's what helps you get up on the morning and makes you do that little bit more during the day. And as Rhun said there, when you've had a couple of winners, the drive home is nothing, you know what I mean? And you don't feel as tired the next morning. And no, it's we all have our bad days, and the good days pick you up again.
We have a great bunch of owners, haven't we?
We do, yeah.
They make things easier. Not a lot of pressure there, which is nice. And they just want horses to do well and to look well and be looked after, which is that's quite nice.
Makes a difference when you've got good owners.
And it's a fair play to the owners. I mean, it's obviously there's a lot of money involved. A lot of money, I say a lot of money involved. A lot of money that they're spending for very, very little financial rewards. It's about the, I suppose, about the satisfaction, about the enjoyment. And then COVID-19, guys, I mean, you know, how was that affecting you? What were you thinking, shall we say, in the early part of the year?
Well, wondering if things were going to actually go ahead, Darren, to be fair. And the owners were great, weren't they? Just I
mean, we kept all the horses. We give them all the option to, you know, if they wanted to pull the plug and take the horses. And to be fair to them all, they all said, no, let's give it a few weeks or a month and see what goes on. And they were brave, because I will admit, I never thought we'd be at this stage. I didn't think there'd be any racing this year. Because, I mean, it was a serious thing, wasn't it? It still is. I think everybody, the BHRC and everybody, to, you know, to stick to the protocols as we have, as best as we could have. Anyway, it's credit to everybody to keep racing going, and looks like we're going to hopefully get to the end of the season and maybe a couple of weeks more than we probably would have anyway. But I, for one, did not foresee racing this year. I will admit that. So it's, you know, I'm very grateful for what everybody's achieved.
And how about you, Rhun? I mean, what were you thinking early on?
Yeah, it was testing times, and it was difficult to know what to do, really. We kept more or less everything in. A couple of horses I had a couple of weeks out here and there, but then I suppose they needed that anyway. So, but no, luckily the owners they basically left it down to me, and they trusted my judgment when they needed to come in, sort of thing. And they had a couple of weeks out at the start there, and we gone back in and got back on the road then.
Talking about what there is to achieve now in the sport, I mean, Rhun, what do you have a list of ambitions? I mean, what's on your bucket list?
I think every trainer just wants to win every race that's out there, don't they? Really, you know, it's any race. All different horses. You know, some horses you want to win. You know, just a race, you know, win a couple of maidens or whatever, you know, something. And you got your other horses that you campaign for bigger things, like, you know, Anton Russell Memorial or the Crock of Gold or something like that. So it's just, as long as the horse can win a race that it's capable of winning, you know, we're happy then.
And we're seeing horses making the journey abroad. Have you got any aspirations to follow horses abroad?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I'd love to. We'll see.
And what about Mr. and Mrs. Cairns? I mean, you know, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you've been around a long time in this game. You've achieved an awful lot. Don't stop laughing. What is on your bucket list? What, you know, are there some ambitions? Are there some sort of you know, goals out there that you want to achieve?
I think your main goal is now is as Rhun said there, to win as many races as you can. Racing now is so competitive. This year, even more so. Which is good, but it's so hard to win races now. And as I say, with the grass tracks gone by the wayside this year, you've got every trainer is at every meeting. You know, the wagon load of horses, and the best horses is at every meeting at York, Turpins, you know, Amman Valley, Corbiewood, whatever. So it's ultra competitive this year. But it's in bucket lists. I don't know. I'd love to win a Musselburgh. You know, but every race is is a bonus now, as I say, in how competitive it is. But no, you just take 1 week at a time, and
Just hope your horses are doing well, and if they're there and they're competitive in the field, and if they run the best, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, yeah.
Not on your bucket list, Andrew, to get a drive around Vincennes still. Is that not still up there? To actually get a spin around the track?
that's ticked off now, isn't it? That one's done.
That was fun. People might not realise this. We were in Paris together, the three of us, on a wild weekend of things that went wrong and things that went right. And I mean, you guys bet a winner on the Sunday. After I left, we spent all day on the Sunday trying to bet horses, and I left before the last couple of races. And then Joanne texted me and said, "We've just won like €100 betting a horse." And I thought I was clearly the unlucky charm for the full weekend.
Yeah, we had a great night out, didn't we? Did we have pizza and chips or something like that in some restaurant?
After walking around 15 different restaurants and going back to the first one we found.
Yeah, we did, yes. Yeah. It was good.
Did you get to drive, Andrew?
Yes, I eventually did get one. Yeah. The year after.
Yeah. The year after.
Yeah. That's an amazing place.
Now, what happened? Was it a case of your horse was scratched the first year? Or did you
it was a comedy of errors. We missed the plane, missed our flight.
There was an accident on the road.
There was an accident on the motorway. We missed the flight. And then we had to drive to Manchester, get a flight the following morning. A rush to get to the track. The coach was waiting for us as we got off the plane to the hotel to take us to the track. Got there, and the horse was a non-runner.
Andrew got his colours on all ready to go, Darren, to find out that it was a non-runner. It
was good. I sat and had my meal with Brian Sears, so that was an experience.
Wow. Right.
But because you did that, they very kindly invited us back, didn't they?
Yeah,
the year after.
Yeah.
So.
And so you actually drove at the track. I mean, what did you make of it? How would you describe driving around Vincennes?
Mind blown. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. The track, I mean, the facilities, just silly things like the drivers' changing rooms and stuff, you know what I mean? It was just crazy. People there taking your colours and washing your colours and drying them, and just great, fantastic.
Yes, that at home, Darren.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that. Yeah, it's free of charge.
Yeah, no, a brilliant place to. I mean, even if you weren't driving there, you definitely advise anybody just to go and see it. And we went up to Grosbois, and that's another amazing place. But no, I suppose that's one of the perks that comes with this type of a job. You get to see amazing things like that, you know, and you like places like Woodbine and Medlands, places like that, Vincennes. It's you get to see some great places.
Have you driven it in North America?
No, never driven there. Jogged and worked horses there when I've been over there a couple of times, but no, never driven there. No, Joanne's brother, obviously, he had a big career over there, drove a lot of winners, but no, not driven there.
And what about riding? 'Cause I know you're into thoroughbred racing. Do you ride, Andrew? Have you ridden?
Not for a long time, no. I used to when I was younger. I used to love riding horses. My dad always used to have horses, different types, and I used to jump on them and ride them. And I jumped on a few of the trotters and the paces at home, and had a ride around the track on them. But no, not for a while. But Joanne, might try and get a Monty race one day and see if she can have a go in one of them. But no, I like, as you say, like you, as yourself, I like the thoroughbred racing in the winter time. It's nice to get away for a couple of days and down to Cheltenham as we used to do. No, it's a nice mix.
And Rhun, are you a fan of thoroughbred racing?
Yeah, I follow it. Yeah, like Andrew said, it's basically in winter when we're not racing. I do enjoy the jumps and that. So
yeah,
Becky did a lot with the jump racing, so we follow it quite closely as well.
So we've established that Rhun would have been a sports scientist. So if you couldn't work in harness racing, Andrew, what would you have done?
Oh, I've never thought about that one before. Commentator like yourself.
Commentating.
Is after your job, Darren?
You know, I've never ever thought of that. Funny enough, don't know. I'll have a think about that one.
Have a think about it, and then I'll let Craig know. And then when Craig interviews tomorrow after one of your wins, Craig can ask you, right, have you had a think about it? What would you have done if you hadn't been involved in harness racing? My suggestion would be that you'd have been a professional singer, because every time you come by the winner's circle, you keep saying to me, right, I'll get a song on this mic now, because you see it standing there. So I think that's like a little hint towards what you secretly want to have done with your life, is be a professional singer.
Yeah, want to and could have is two different things.
Hasn't he got a reputation, Sarah, for the Murdoch weekend at Corbiewood?
Oh, yeah. My drink got spiked that night, I'm sure. Somebody spiked me.
It's very difficult to get a song at Corbiewood when I'm there, to be honest, because I hog the mic. If it's not me, it's Lee Cadigan or Scott Cadigan, or even worse, Craig. When Craig gets up and starts singing Dignity and gets his shirt off, it's even worse. It's when singing Angels and taking his clothes off. It becomes a bit much, to be honest. So Andrew was lucky to get on the mic, to be honest.
Sarah, we got Corbiewood on Sunday?
Yes, we have. I believe it's 5 races. I need to log into my computer now. 5 races, including the last leg of the mares race. We're back to, I think it's trails this week. Yeah, we are trails this week, because obviously last week was a preferred week. There's a couple of horses who are on a real good string of form at the moment. In particular, Mainboard Hanover, who came up from the Hayfield weights to Eck Taylor. He's 3 for 3 at the moment. He's going for his 4th win in a row. He's actually on a 10-yard trail this week. There's only one horse in the gate in front of him, and he has drawn 1 on the 10-yard trail. So personally, for me, I think he's in with a big chance of making it 4 in a row, which would put him at the top of the Equine Products leaderboard. We've got a competition running at Corbiewood that's kindly sponsored by Marcia at Equine Products. Basically, it's a prize for the horse that picks up the most points during the season at Corbiewood. It's basically just to reward loyalty of people who, keep coming back week after week. It is, it's generally, it's Scottish horses anyway, but there are a couple of English horses that do travel up regularly to race there. And it's just kind of something to keep them coming, especially during the later part of the season when the days are getting shorter. As well as that, then, like I say, we've got the mares race. We've got 7 mares in the mares race. Lady Mary ran a massive race the other week in with Rob Hall. She's obviously going to be drawn 7, so she's in with a huge chance. But there's other mares in the race. Hawthorne's Dream won the last leg, possibly a bit of a surprise winner for the Pattersons. They weren't overly sure about putting her in the race. They did, and she ended up winning. She's drawn 2 on the gate, but I suspect GD's Blizzard will lead out there. No Breaks is another horse. He's got a 40-yard trail in his handicap race, but he's coming into a bit of good form as well for the Cullens. So it looks like it's going to be a good day of racing. Although it's only 5 races, it's still super competitive at Corbiewood. The handicap weeks maybe not as much as the preferred weeks, but Chico and I have got a couple of plans afoot to do a little brown jug inspired Chico and Sarah show after racing. So he's been making notes. He's been picking up a bit of Roger's commentary as well at Delaware. He's going to write some of that into his commentary at Corbiewood. So for anybody who's watching the Zoom from Corbiewood, just listen out, because it could be a wild ride with Chico.
And we'll look forward to that. And Amman Valley, Sunday, last meeting of the season. Really good card as well. 6 races and a few regulars on the Amman Valley circuit, like Kentucky Jungle Joe.
Yeah, that's a horse that at the moment I think he's possibly the leading horse in the country. He's 5 wins this season, and obviously he's wrapped up the leading horse on the Wales and West circuit. But he's potentially, if he can make it 6, that's probably about what you need to do to win the BHRC leading horse of the season. Going on previous years, 6 or 7 wins normally kind of wraps that up for a horse. There are other horses sitting on 4 wins across the country. Finley Wells is one of them. But she's deserted Amman Valley this week to come up for the mares race at York, which is obviously a tougher affair for her. I've been impressed with Kentucky Jungle. I've actually never seen any of his races live, obviously, because I've not been at Amman Valley, but I saw the horse in a couple of qualifiers and workouts at York right at the start of the season when they were just one of those days in June. I think he's maybe been a bit of a kind of superstar emerging down in Wales. I think let's put Mark Pritchard. Is Mark and Michael Emani tied for leading driver? It's a decided Sunday. Between those two, I think the other categories, the leading owner and trainer, are all wrapped up. But Mike and Mark Pritchard are going head to head on Sunday to see who gets the leading driver in Wales, which is always exciting, actually, especially when you know, Mark's got a drive on a horse like Kentucky Jungle Joe that he thinks maybe he'll push him in front of Michael. Always good to have a bit of competitive spirit on the last day of the season down there.
So 3 meetings the weekend. We've got York live streaming from 11 a.m. First race 11 a.m. at York on Saturday. 16 races to look forward to. Amman Valley and Corbiewood both starting at 2 o'clock on Sunday. The Zoom live stream, is that still active at Corbiewood?
As far as I know, yeah. I watched it 2 weeks ago when I was away, and I came back, I gave them feedback, thought it was really good. They did the same thing last week, just showed the camera on the TV screen in the bar rather than having it outside, out in the elements or whatever. It seems to work quite well. So as far as I'm aware, there will be that live stream. Before we go, obviously I want to say good luck to Tea Time Preacher and Mikey Camden, who are off on their travels to North America, to Canada. But there's also somebody else from the UK who is abroad this weekend competing, and that is Hosea Burton. He's fighting in Latvia tomorrow night in the semi-final of the Golden Contract Tournament in the light heavyweight division. He's in Latvia, he had his way in today. I know Tia Prince had put a notice out wishing him all the best. I just wanted to say on behalf of myself and John, but also everybody in harness racing, good luck to Hosea. He's been at York so many times this season. I understand that when his boxing career is over, he is contemplating becoming a driver. So Rhun and Andrew, watch out. He could be somebody to not upset on the racetrack. Don't give him any cheek when he's racing against you, because I hear he packs quite a punch. But good luck, Hosea, in Latvia tomorrow night.
He can be drawn one every week.
On a serious note, guys, I would like to just pay tribute to Roland Pugh, who sadly passed away this week. Roland was known to basically everybody on the harness racing circuit. He was a regional steward down in Wales and the Wales and West circuit for many years. A real likeable chap, Roland. He's so enthusiastic. And his dad before him, he was a timekeeper on the circuit. Roland sadly passed away this week at the age of 64, far too young. And Stella Havard has paid tribute to him tonight. She sent me a wonderful tribute, which we will put on the website. So our sincere condolences go to Roland, Roland's family and friends. And on a brighter note, what do you think then, Sarah, to our suggestion then, like I don't know, a Sulky Show Christmas Mr. and Mrs. special? What do you think?
100%, I'm up for that. As long as I get to come up with some of the questions.
Yeah,
I will. I'm going to start writing the questions now. I'm going to get all the couples in harness racing. This is a fantastic idea. Why people keep mentioning crazy stuff like this to me, I'm going to go along with it. I'm 100% up for it already. So yeah, I'm going to start work on that straight away. Everyone needs, this is not just you, Andrew and Joanne, and also you, Rhun and Becky, but everybody who's watching this, be prepared, because you will get invited on and I will be asking questions because I desperately want to know the answers to them. I'm going to set you all right up.
Right.
Look what you've started now.
Exactly. Honestly, I'm a monster. You should not give me this free rein to do stuff. I'm really nosy.
Brilliant. And we'll get the bookmakers to bet on it. But listen, guys, we really appreciate you taking the time to spend with us on this Friday night. Thank you very much to Rhun Wilson. Thank you very much to Andrew and Joanne Cairns. Thank you so much for being part of our show. And we just love your work, and keep on doing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And Sarah, thank you. That's a wrap. And we'll be back next week. Right. Bye-bye, folks.